Okay, the session is officially begun. So, as you can see, I was preparing some structures to show you guys today. So, let's start with the structure. And like I said, we're going to begin with advanced SMC from this week forward. So, let me give you an introduction to advanced SMC. Let's say this is our change of character. And then let's say this is our endorsement. Okay. This camera. Okay. Let's say this is our endorsement and this is our breaker structure. Okay, this is our breaker structure BOS. Okay, let's continue. And then let's go ahead and make the other structure. The first structure you might be familiar with, but the second structure might be something else. So just wait and see. This is our change of character. And then we have an endorsement again. We have an endorsement. And then after that endorsement, we have a breaker structure to this side. We have a breaker structure to this side. And then a breaker structure to this side, which is the opposite side of the change of character, but it's still a valid breaker structure. And then here we have our change of character. Let's mark our change of character. This is our change of character. And then we have another low after our change of character, which is our endorsement again. And then that's when it finally decides to go up. Okay. And this one we're gonna use an ICT term for buying liquidity, which is buy side liquidity. Let's mark our buy side liquidity BSL, okay. So the difference between these structures is that after liquidity was taken, which is the inducement, which is liquidity near an order block, after the liquidity was swept, it was taken and then market decided to go, okay. After taking liquidity, the market decided to go up and entertain our change of character. And then on the second one, it was different. After taking out liquidity, it continues to go down, go down, go down, creating what we call a buy side liquidity, because this high has to be taken no matter what. So same thing as here. This here it was taken early, but here it took time, but it will come back to take the buy side liquidity. And then after taking the buy side liquidity, we can finally call it what our breaker structure, same as this side. We can also mark this as like our buy side liquidity. So nonetheless, these structures are the same. The difference is the entry point. So I prefer this structure than this one that reacts immediately. I don't prefer this one. I prefer this type of structure because it has a high risk to reward ratio and it gives us more pips than the first one. Because let's say our entry is right here. Let's say our entry is right here, and then we take it to the buy side liquidity. Just count the pips. We have 68, while on the other side we have 34. That's double the pips on the same movement. On the same movement. So let's try it on the chart. This is just an introduction though. It's just an introduction. We're just gonna keep doing this until everyone else understands it. Let's start from here. Let's start from here. This is our change of character to the downside. And then obviously this is our break of structure, previous one. And one more thing, when you're using this strategy, I prefer it to be used on the 1 hour time frame and only on the 1 hour time frame because that's where it works best. So let's do another one. This is our endorsement. This is our endorsement right here. So moving on, this endorsement wasn't reacted at the same time, right? It kept going up, going up, going up, and then until it formed change of character right here. Until it formed a change of character. We have this high and this low. And this low created this low. This high created this low, meaning that our change of character happened right here. This one is invalid because it doesn't have a high. It's invalid. So we mark our newly formed change of character. Okay, this is the change of character. Let's log it. And then after our change of character, we're given an imbalance. We're given an imbalance, which is a fair value gap. I've given, okay, we have our imbalance right there. And then we can finally mark our order block. And then, okay, this is our order block. This is our order block. We mark our, okay, at the top of the order block. And then we sell to the sell side liquidity, which was found here. Since the endorsement didn't react to this earlier, now it has to, because it has changed the direction to the downside, and the sell side liquidity pulls it to this level, which is our sell side liquidity since it's to the downside. And then that's the 39 pips, gold pips. So that's a lot compared to when you enter from right here with the use stop loss and then you say this is your TP. That's a huge L on your part. So it's better to use it this way. So advanced SMC is just a strategy that chases liquidity. We mainly focus on liquidity. So while we're at it, let's see what we can get out of this one. We have a low right here, which is the break of structure to the downside. And then let's mark the break of structure to the downside. And then here we have a change of character to the upside. We mark our change of character. And then here we have an inducement. Here we have an inducement. Here we have an inducement. Therefore, making this one the buy side liquidity. So now we have our liquidity. We just have to wait for an entry point, and it's given by the first change of character to that direction. So we actually got this entry and it hit TP yesterday. So let's mark it. This is how I got it. This is our change of character. And this is, like this. Okay. And then this is, there's our inducement. So we have our change of character. We have our fair value gap. But that's where the Fibonacci comes in. We're using this low and this high to find an entry right here. And then the fair value gap is above. It's above what? Our equilibrium point, which is the 0.5. Therefore, it's in the premium zone. Therefore, it's not a good entry point. So, therefore, it means we're going to take our trade at the inducement. So, this is how we got the trade. This is the trade. Okay. From the inducement, and then we target the buy side liquidity. And then market actually took the buy side liquidity. So at this point, we're just chasing liquidity. Same thing as Nasdaq or gold or German 30. Just let's go to Nasdaq. Nas 100. Which one do I use? Nas 100. And then, okay, I normally use this one. So we actually had an entry point. We were actually in a trade before the market stopped. We were actually in a trade. So let me get another one. I don't wanna restart doing the whole process. So let me just take the one from the Forex.com. Okay. Let's restart. Okay, the market was going up. This is a breaker structure, and then this is another breaker structure, and then we actually have a high and a low, and the low was swept. Therefore, this is our change of character. And then since it's an internal structure, this is our inducement. Since it's an internal structure, you can go ahead and mark this as a break of structure to the upside. And then it continues like that, but I'm not going to mark it. I'm just going to mark only what's important. So this is our sell side liquidity. Like I said, we're just chasing liquidity at this point. This is our sell side liquidity. So let's go ahead and look at the structure. Okay, we have a high right here, we have a low right here, and then this low was broken. Therefore, change of character to the downside. Actually do have change of character to the downside, and then let's mark it. This is our change of character to the downside. Remember, we strictly stay on the 1 hour time frame, not going to the 15 minutes or whatever to confuse ourselves. We only stay on the 1 hour time frame. So we can say this is our break of structure since this one is our change of character. Okay, we have a change of character, break of structure, and then it goes down, goes down, goes down, goes down, not forming any structure after that. So the next thing we do, we are going to use our Fibonacci retracement tool, and then we actually have an imbalance at our equilibrium. We can mark this as our imbalance, and then we actually have an order block as well. We have an order block right here. This is our order block. Why didn't it touch on this server? Anyway, we're going to fix that later, but on the server that I normally use, this order block was touched, so we're just gonna go ahead and say it was touched. So that's where normally you take your trade. Let's say right there, and then on the high of the order block, making our risk 40 pips, and then we gain 170 pips as we target the sell side liquidity. So we can't ignore what happened here. A change of character happened. Change of character happened right here. And then an inducement also was created. An inducement was created right here, and it wasn't reacted at that time. So just gonna go ahead and say this is our change of character and that is our inducement, and break of structure to the downside. So let me go ahead and mark our buy side. This is our buy side liquidity, and then here we got our first change of character, and we're given the entry on the inducement. This is our change of character, and then this is our inducement. It was reacted same time, therefore we got our entry point. This is our entry point, and then we target our buy side liquidity, which is over 300 pips to the upside. So this is how normally we got the entry. Let's go to the other server so that we can confirm what I said. Okay, like I said, this was touched. It was touched. Our order block actually was touched, but on the other servers it might show differently. That's why I use this server, which is FXCM. I only use this server on all of my pairs that I trade with. I use this server. It shows what I need to see on the market. So this is how Nasdaq was the previous week. This is how it was, and this is where we are currently at. currently at 160 pips, therefore 3k per entry. And then let's go to gold again. Let's go to gold again, and then we have this is gold, and then this is how gold was last week. This is how it was normally meant to be traded. Normally we would have gotten like normally it was only 2 entries this week, but there had been a lot of pips. Like example for this one, 50 pips. Therefore, if you got a nice entry from there in this month, you got 1,000 per entry. Lot 0.01, and then here you got 39 pips, and then that's how normally this week was. So this will be it for today, and this is our introduction to the advanced SMC.